Whew. Hey guys, welcome to the 5th episode of the Melee Stats Podcast with me, reoccurring guest Edwin, KB, and Ambi. No special guests this time, just people we've had before, and I'm going to pass it over to Edwin to take us on to our first topic.
Okay, so first off, we're going to recap last weekend. So there were 3 really big tournaments that happened. There was House of Pain 18 on Saturday. There was also Apollo 13, notably the last Apollo and last tournament. In the,
wow, how fitting. I didn't even notice that. Apollo
13. Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
I couldn't think of a good rocket ship pun, so I didn't go on with it. But yeah, so after that, Sunday was the return of SSS at SSS 64 in SoCal. So let's start by talking about House of Pain. Guys, what are our takeaways?
I guess AbsentPage is good at the...
But is
Say, you wanna make
AbsentPage
another
a top
video about
30
AbsentPage?
player?
Yeah, is that
I've made
5?
2 videos about AbsentPage, and because he's had a fantastic year so far.
Wait, Save, can you tell the people who AbsentPage is? I've never heard of him.
AbsentPage is a god amongst men who has attended like 50 tournaments already this year and has gotten not gotten first at like 5 of them. This man is insane. To be fair, he's in a very weak region, but he's
his only competition is like Slayer and 100 grand, if I remember.
Hey,
don't talk shit about Ben. Minnesota Ben.
Ben, my friend.
Ben?
Yeah, Ben.
Ben?
Ben is my
I call
boy.
him Ben, by the way, because we're homies.
Wait, who's Ben?
No, Minnesota Ben is his net play tag. It's just Minnesota Ben.
Wait, who is he?
He's like a Sheik player from Minnesota. I think he's number 4 or something.
Okay.
He's pretty good.
Minnesota.
Yeah, how do you not know about Minnesota Ben? Come on, Kay.
I do know about MarioLutherKing.
That's a tag!
Okay,
Oh my god.
It's a certain player.
Next
in a
video.
certain region.
So
Wait,
wanna
do you know
something
who that
kinda
is?
funny?
What?
Do you know who
Yeah,
Mario?
Yeah, I know who that is.
Yeah,
Is that a secret? It's Zoso.
It's so okay.
I didn't know
Enough talking
Yeah,
that.
he streams, dude. He's Mario Luther King.
I'm sorry I don't watch Zoso stream.
Why aren't you watching Zoso streams?
I love how this conversation about House of Pain just start.
Alright, so getting back on topic.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna make a video. It's gonna be made in, like Adobe Premiere Pro. And I'm gonna title it AbsentPage Hasn't Gotten Better.
Jesus
I'm just gonna talk about how he was always this good, but he never traveled. So he hasn't actually improved at all. He's just going to more things, and therefore you all think he's getting better.
No.
And then he'll lose something, and I'll be like, man, you know what? Maybe AbsentPage did get better.
It's hard to put out a video every
gonna
week.
comment
you and your
on it
fucks.
at all. He won't say anything.
No, AbsentPage will tell me my...
AbsentPage hasn't gotten better. The rest of the world has just gotten worse.
So, want to know
It's
something
true.
funny?
At least I actually put out content. Go fuck yourselves, guys.
I put out content.
Hey, whoa,
Oh yeah, Edwin's the only one
It's
who
been on
can...
Paign and Reddit.
Yeah.
Whoa, hold on.
Oh,
Edwin can say that he actually puts out content. But fuck you guys.
Okay, so one thing with AbsentPage I think is kind of funny. People looked at his last weekend and thought it was, and obviously it's awesome that he beat Crush, Ginger, and KJH to win House of Pain. But it's kind of funny that he immediately lost a face roll a day later and got 9th at SSS. But we just like looked past it because he flew across the country for like another big tournament. So it's like, oh yeah, whatever. He lost a face roll in SoCal. Like shit happens. Like. I know. I just think that's crazy.
I wasn't surprised. That was
yeah,
the expected outcome of that match.
Well, I wouldn't go as far as to say it was expected, but I also wouldn't say I'm very surprised.
Well, yeah, I guess not so much expected. More just like, oh, he flew across the country to play at another really big tournament. Didn't do as well, but
I mean, we say that, but the only bad loss he had was face roll. He lost to Lucky in so that.
Visual's taking names, dude. He beats Fox and
Sometimes
SJ.
you just play Fox player as Sheik, and you win, and you're like, wow, how did I win that? This match was so bad. What a ridiculous occurrence that happened.
Oh man.
Do you have anything to say about KJH or Ginger at the event?
Which one are we talking about?
Oh, it's sorry,
Which
not
one is it?
KGH didn't go to House of Pain. I'm sorry.
No, he did. He
Yeah,
did.
he did.
Then
Yeah,
who? Oh no,
he lost second.
He lost twice to AbsentPage.
Then
He
who
doesn't have
did
it,
Cyrox
but-
lose to in losers?
Cyrox
Ginger.
lost to Ginger?
Yeah, he
Or
lost.
Yeah.
to-
Yeah, he lost to Ginger.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Cyrox lost.
Yeah,
to
we should talk
Zamu
about
and Jin.
we should talk about Zamu getting 5th at this tournament.
Okay, yeah.
That's
Um,
actually worth talking about. He 3-2'd Cyrox,
Cyrox is
he
Falco.
3-2'd Drephen,
Drephen.
and he also 2-0'd Blue Buster.
So,
Zamu, fun fact, former Chicago Arcadian champ, I believe.
Mhm.
yeah, it was just like, so I was talking with, so when I was trying to get in touch with like Ace, when he moved back to the US, I got in contact with another guy from like the Kentucky, or not Kentucky, but Indiana Midwest scene, and he was like saying, "Oh wow, you really should watch out for this guy Zamu," and I was like, "Oh shit," because like he actually started winning a lot of shit in that region. Here, he like, I wouldn't say this is his breakout, but I mean, look at this shit.
He's #1 in this region also, I believe.
What is his region?
Champaign.
Who
What?
else is in
Champaign,
Champaign?
Illinois. Like,
What
He's-
hard-hitting players come from Champaign? I think that's
Surely
silence
the most
speaks
competitive
volumes.
region in Melee.
Yeah.
dude, don't sleep on Champaign. They got Blend Tech.
Oh.
All right. So were
What
there
else
any
we got?
other highlights from House Pain? Yeah.
Just AbsentPage beat Crush. He won the tournament. That's really it.
Yeah, I
Micheal
guess-
also beat Drephen. We can talk about that. I bet that was the lamest set of all time. I can't imagine, because I went to game 5, right? I'm just imagining Drephen and Micheal not interacting, and then having it go to game 5. What an amazing idea! Just to, was this streamed? I bet you this was not streamed. I bet whoever was running the stream was like, let's put Cyrox Iori on stream or something.
I mean, I would too, personally. Not because I have any.
But like, I kind of want to see it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
no, I totally want to
yeah.
see it.
It's like Hbox playing the pub dinner against DC. Like,
Yeah, I feel like we can't go a week without mentioning AbsentPage and Micheal. Those two are like constant, reoccurring topics on this podcast.
Well, you have to mention a top 30 player like AbsentPage.
I thought you were gonna say a top 30 player like Micheal for a
Yeah,
second.
no,
mean-
I'm not that bold. I'm used to being wrong with predictions, but usually it doesn't happen that immediately.
I believe in Micheal.
Do you believe in him that he's a top 30 player, though?
No.
Yeah, I was about to say,
Uh,
that's a little bold.
No, but he's definitely gonna be like around the 70 rank by the end of the year, at least.
70?
Yeah, I think so.
What has
Unless I'm
Michael
forgetting
done
something.
so far this year?
70 is like Rick range, isn't it?
Yeah, I think he's around.
I'm gonna hold off on that for a bit, but
Yeah.
you never know. Maybe.
I mean, he's definitely gonna be ranked. Like, I don't think there's a question of like if he's gonna be ranked, but like, where he would be ranked, right? Do you guys agree with that?
yeah, I think it'd be
Yeah.
kind of weird.
Yeah, like I wouldn't put him above Fat Goku right now. So.
Well,
Dude, what happened to that guy?
well, Fat Goku just hasn't attended shit, so I don't feel like that's a fair.
I'm just naming
comparison.
someone at like the bottom end of top 100.
Mhm.
Like, would you
Fat
put
Goku was like 60 something.
I thought he was in the early 70s.
He was 69.
Fat Goku was 69, wasn't
Yeah. He was
Oh yeah,
69.
yeah.
Yeah.
69.
Okay. Well, you
he?
said
That's
70,
pretty,
so
pretty
I would.
narrow.
Well,
I don't-
when
I
I meant
expect
70s,
Michael
I meant like 71, like
Mhm.
like in between 70 and 80. I guess 80s. I don't know about being like in that range yet, but
I don't know if Wheat's in chat saying that Fat Goku at 69 is lore, but I think Drephen at 69 is the true lore.
Oh my god.
He's like the only person I can imagine being more appropriate for 69.
I'm trying to find out,
Hmm.
because he's only gone to Genesis 5 this year. I'm trying to figure out who he lost to. Sechi
I think he
and
lost to
Face
Sechi.
Roll. Yeah, Sechi and Face Roll. So,
those are not very good.
He
losses.
lost to
Yeah.
Sechi. I remember that. Let's go,
Ooh.
Sechi.
Yeah, that was
Oh, that
Sechi's
was so
sick.
sick.
Yeah.
Oh, and then Sechi lost to Fran. What a sad. Sad way to go out after beating Fat Goku. I was so excited. I was hoping he would get all Fox players.
Yeah, there was no way he was beating Fran. Although someone told me that Captain Falcon is like Doc's worst matchup. Is that true?
Palika told me that
Literally
Falcon is
zero.
Doc's worst matchup, so I trust him.
I absolutely don't believe that Palika told you that, considering how much Palika complains about Falco.
No, he just hates playing against Falco, but he doesn't think Falco is the worst.
No, Captain Falcon.
No, yeah, he
I know.
thinks Falcon is the worst matchup.
Yeah, he thinks Falcon's the worst matchup, right?
Yeah, for Doc.
Yeah.
Okay, do you guys want to move on to Apollo, or do you want to talk about Michael more?
But what about AbsentPage?
Just
I
way
love
to scare
it.
someone away.
All right, so
That's
really
like
good
the
with
ultimate like logical fallacy there.
what
You
is?
only have these two options.
No, I'm joking, but yeah.
No,
So-
I know.
So the top two, I wrote about this earlier in the week. I talked about how La Luna and Slox are relatively slumping lately. So I think that there's a lot of people, I won't name names, but they looked at Slox's losers run and were like, oh, he beat people he was supposed to beat. It's not that impressive. But you have to look at it cumulatively. Like he took out a lot of really big names. Like he beat, I think, J-Flex, he beat Diskid Boogie, Darktooth, IBDW, just in this very long losers
Calvar.
run from 9.
Yeah, you beat
Yeah, he beat-
Calvar. Who had a
3-0'd
fucking
Calvar, I want to say.
Mhm.
Yeah, I believe he
3-0,
3-0'd.
yeah.
Yeah,
3-0.
and he made it to grand finals. He lost to Moon. Funny thing about Moon, when heading into his match against aMSa, is that how you pronounce his name?
aMSa, I think it is.
Yeah, aMSa.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I low-key would have not been surprised if aMSa beat him, but Moon ended up 3-0ing him. So I guess a good return to form from him. He won the tournament without dropping a game, which kind of caught
I'm
me
not
off.
that surprised. If you just look at his run is very unremarkable. Like if you're a yellow Pokemon, you might say the same thing about Slox.
Wait, what? What was the
If
analogy?
you were a yellow
You're a
Pokemon,
yellow Pokemon.
A yellow Pokemon.
But, okay,
okay.
Ambi, I would normally agree with you, but you have to look at how badly Moon has done in the last
Mhm.
2
yeah, I mean,
months.
Hey,
I guess it's
yeah.
great that he beat Animal and Darktooth.
Dude, you see IBDW's last set
Yeah,
against Moon?
that's the only one that I would say is an actual.
Wait,
good
how
win
does
for me.
Darktooth normally do against Luna? I actually have no idea how that.
I'm
how
pretty
they're-
sure he loses to him when they play.
Darktooth.
Darktooth. Oh, Darktooth.
You just look at this bracket and it's aMSa into 4 Foxes. I'm not gonna go out of my way to be super impressed by Moon not dropping a game with this bracket.
Dude, did you see IBDW versus Moon last time
Yes.
they played? I thought IBDW was gonna whoop him again.
Well,
He's looked
how did he
so
lose?
bad the last 2
Well,
months.
I mean, who else in this bracket had a chance of really putting on some hurt on him besides IBDW? Like Smuckers maybe,
Smucker.
and not.
I low key think Calvar could have beat.
Yeah, I was about to say maybe
Maybe.
Calvar.
What's been up with
He
Smuckers lately?
he also could have just lost to Adam.
Yeah, well, that's what I was saying. Like, I kind of thought it was gonna go to.
Oh, you know who definitely could have done it? Sun. I think he could have.
Oh yeah,
I
you're
think
right.
he could have gotten sunned by Sun.
So,
That dude's hella good.
Couldn't resist.
what do you guys think of Smuckers going out relatively early to Darktooth and Calvar?
Unsurprised.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of sad, but
Yes,
like,
sad,
he
but
still got 5th. He had a pretty good run relative to.
Is Smuckers one of those players that does way better out of region than in region? It always feels like that.
well, I do think that. I also think he's just a very variable player in general, because he just he doesn't even do that consistently spectacularly well out of region in the same way did back when he played Doc. I remember at Royal Flush he lost to MikeHaze, and then who was it? Some ice climbers
He lost to Slug.
Slug, right? Right. So it's that's not marginally any better than the run here, right? So I'm just thinking that just Captain Smuckers plays a style that's inherently not very consistent, in my opinion.
Because he beat SFAT, he beat SFAT at Flat Iron, and then lost I know it's a local, but he lost a robotic fish just last week, you know.
Right.
Oh yeah, that was on stream. Yeah.
Just out of nowhere.
It was on stream. Okay, I'm looking up that set after this.
No. I was saying that we were on stream during it last time. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's what I thought. I thought it was Cool Lime. Yeah, it was Cool Lime.
How could I do Cool Lime like that? I'm sorry.
I'm gonna get a quick drink of water real quick. If that's okay.
Peace.
Amy, do you have any thoughts on Smuckers or not really?
Not really, no. I think he's pretty hot and cold in general. A lot of the times he'll like super go off on you, and other times he won't. You know, like him beating Kaon, I think is pretty expected. Him beating Nico, I think is pretty expected. Him losing to Darktooth is like a little bit of an upset, but like it's not that crazy to me. Darktooth's pretty good. Him losing to Calvar is like a little bit weird, but like it's definitely like that sort of matchup that Calvar would be really good at.
Yeah, they're big on tech chasing, that whole thing.
So like, you know, it didn't strike me as a particularly bad performance. It was just like unfortunate that he got the players that he did.
Do we have anything?
I don't think there's really anything.
Form.
Yeah, like past that on Apollo 13.
Word. SSS.
Yeah. You know who did good at SSS?
Yeah, lead us through it, Save.
Westballz hasn't gotten worse. And for all
so happy to talk about
for
this.
all you motherfuckers who roasted me for Westballz bad loss last weekend, I have one thing to say. You can suck my nuts. Yes. Westballz is probably going to do really bad at Summit though. But
Dude.
No. We're talking about Save is gushing about Westballz right now.
No, you can talk about everything else at SSS. I just need to have my one moment.
You can let the guy gush about his favorite player after his favorite player wins.
Yeah, go ahead.
No. I also
the floor is yours, Save.
I have to pull up the bracket real quick, so I was passing it off to you so I can do
like
that.
a little like a little altar for him on YouTube, and you've been rewarded for your good faith.
I made one
Westballz,
video about Westballz.
I'm so sorry for giving up hope on you. You're my favorite player
What?
and inspiration.
It's cool. I can't enjoy Melee.
It's all good. It's all good.
Damn. I can't.
You did great. No, it's all good.
Whatever, guys. Someone else take it. I have to pull up the bracket. You guys fucking
similar
suck.
to Slocks on Apollo, I thought it was kind of interesting that Lucky also had a really big losers run. After he lost to Squid in winners quarters, he beat AbsentPage, which is kind of funny because AbsentPage is on a really high trajectory, and Lucky lately has been kind of low. But he beat him, and then he beat the.
Yeah, I'm not that surprised about that. That would have been a really weird thing, I think.
What if AbsentPage beat Lucky?
If AbsentPage beat Lucky, that would have been very surprising.
How come? Why do you think?
I just think Lucky is pretty strong in that matchup. And it's like he is like randomly not good sometimes. Like he did drop a game to like that fucking Mewtwo player in pools at this tournament.
Yeah, Bobby
Ganoush, dude, that was
the legend.
The most insane.
See how he lost his last two stocks?
Yeah, dude.
So
it's
dumb.
like you never played a Mewtwo before. It's awesome. Like I bet, like I didn't see it, but like I heard about it. Like he just gets pulled onto the stage. I bet you if I go back and watch it, he'll get pulled onto the stage and he'll be like.
Alright. Did we lose Edwin? Edwin, you still there? Oh.
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry.
Sorry, Kay, you're muted on the stream.
So I was watching the set, and what happened was that Mewtwo did a nair, and then Lucky fell out of it, and then jumped up, but then hit the nair again. As it was coming down, so he just got set off like way off stage at like 13%, and then died.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's what happened.
But yeah, like I for one was not super surprised by Lucky's losers run. I think he's really good versus Fox. I think the one thing that I thought was actually very surprising is him beating Army. Not that like doesn't happen, but it's like like if you're talking about like a player that's like on a downward trajectory, I think Army is definitely the type of player to beat you up for being on a bad trajectory.
Yeah. If you I was about to disagree, but when you put it that way, I actually agree. Yeah.
So him actually doing well, I think is a really good indication. I'm sure he's like not happy about losing to West in Grants, but
He
like
took a set often though, so I mean,
yeah, so it's all good.
Squid had a really impressive run too. He beat Hugs as well.
Yeah.
Hugs is losing to more and more Falcos, thus proving to me that that's a shitty matchup.
QED. What else happened at this tournament?
Face Roll got another win. But I think we already mentioned that.
Yeah, he lost to MikeHaze. Friends.
Do you have any hot takes on MikeHaze at all, or not really?
MikeHaze is the perfectly average Fox player.
Yeah.
When Fox does well in the meta, MikeHaze does well in the meta. When Fox gets beat up in the meta, MikeHaze gets beat up in the meta.
That's like a really good way of putting it.
I actually think that's I think it's even more simple than that. I think now that Mike's album is out, that he can spend more time on the game, he'll do better. I actually think it's just that simple. I don't think it has anything to do with the metagame.
Oh, I mean, it was a joke.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
curious.
Kind of, but not really at the same time. I swear to God, like, right when the world was, like, talking about how Fox loses Marth, like, MikeHaze lost his spot.
Yeah, dude.
He lost a top 40 player spud.
Yeah.
I definitely just feel like MikeHaze is the most normal player, like, playstyle-wise.
Yeah, I generally hate to say that about someone just because I feel like it's tough to like hear someone say that about your play style, but it's kind of true.
I mean, I don't even think it's really a bad thing. You know what I mean? Like MikeHaze goes off. He's just like he does it all in a pretty normal way. You know, it's not like a negative thing about it. He just doesn't have,
it's
like,
not
really
a negative thing, but when someone says like, yeah, when someone says like you're just like a perfectly average like X thing, then you know some people don't take it as well. You know,
fair enough.
I know I
more
would
in terms of play style rather than results. That is
Ambi, how would you compare like MikeHaze to SFAT in terms of their approach, like strengths and approach, like game plans?
I don't know. Don't get me started on SFAT.
Oh yeah, that's another tournament where he's the 1 seed losing.
I don't know. All that matters to me is that Lucky is on the fantasy team, Team Ambi, and he does well.
I can't believe Team Foxes, dude. You got all the
best team of all time. I gave up hope on my fantasy at the perfect time and just started picking Nostradamus picks.
You got
wait,
attending
Ambi,
Fox
let's pick up your
players.
fantasy team right now.
I'll tell you my top 5. I picked Plup
they're
because
so
I'm like, Plup is
lame.
gonna destroy the game.
Uh-huh.
I need to pick Plup.
Dude.
Then I picked Duck because I was like, Samus is broken.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, you know what? Fuck this fantasy. I'm just gonna pick sick Fox players. And I picked Lucky. I picked KJH, and I picked AbsentPage.
Oh my God.
Dude, they're all like.
And now I'm winning. Now I'm far in first.
Wow.
I was the only one that took a sensible draft because, like Save was gonna pick a really good one because he got the first pick. He got Hungrybucks, and then he picked all the Falcos. I'm like, you're a fool.
Yeah.
And then Fairfax's first pick was PPMD.
Oh my God! Don't get me started on.
You're nuts.
I got screwed in that draft.
Like, you could get PPMD as the 8th pick. None of us are gonna pick your first.
He was scared that someone else, maybe like Wheat, would
but we didn't
snipe
make
him
fun
out of spite.
We didn't make fun at the time because when Fairfax picked PB, we were like, "Oh, this guy knows something that we don't." He is PB.
Fairfax, you in here? Dude, you're a trooper. If you win the fantasy because you picked PPMD first and he comes back and just like, ledge camps people or something, just destroys everyone.
He just
That
like,
would be the most legendary thing.
Really cool.
That would be the most legendary prophecy.
Yes, he pulled it up. He pulled it up, Save.
PB
Dude,
like
look
types it up and everything.
at my look at my fantasy, dude. What a monster.
The balls on this dude.
Oh my lord, dude.
Oh my God. Oh, Mike has a day job now? Oh, okay. I guess that would.
Dude, I got so
Dude,
screwed
you
by-
picked the moon too. Same poor guy.
What?
He
Same picked the moon.
Westballz, I think.
That's the second.
Oh, Sam, I love your fantasy. I love how you're in second place just because of
Because of
Hungrybox.
Hbox, yeah.
That's how good Hungrybox is right now.
Dude,
Oh my God.
me and Algebra got screwed because Algebra picked MutiKing, who only went to like one other event after Genesis, and I picked Armada, who just hasn't gone to anything.
Yeah, well, this is why I don't do fantasy.
Like,
Gives
if
me
you
too
had-
much anxiety.
like,
Gets me
if
too
you were-
connected to players.
Who would have told you that Armada would just like leave the game for 4 months?
Ambi would have 100% told me that was gonna happen.
Wait, to who?
To Armada.
'Cause I
Oh
picked
yeah, no, I
Armada.
definitely would have told you. I think I went on record in the
Yeah.
Discord going on about that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, like, just control F hot take, and I'm sure that it'll go up.
Yeah, like and by the end of this year, Armada's like gonna go back to Europe and never come back.
Like, dude,
Oh.
dude, I drafted him second. I was like, oh, it's a free ride to winner semis or winners finals at every tournament.
Yo, watch just like Armada just randomly like quote this segment of the podcast and be like, look at
Dude,
these
he's
fucks.
gonna win Summit. He's gonna win Summit and be like, look at these nerds and their fucking stats.
I mean, he could lose Summit and he could still be like, look at these nerds. Oh man, who just spoke my like?
Oh,
That's
that's
Edwin.
Edwin. Yeah, Edwin's all
Oh.
bro body. Edwin's frozen.
Okay,
Okay,
all right,
Edwin,
all right,
you
all
look
right.
like you're back. What were you saying?
No, I was just saying how he needs to go to more tournaments. That's it.
Well, yes.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but I actually miss Armada.
Really? I've always missed Armada. Like I like Armada. I mean, granted, I like it when he loses, but like I don't hate him when he wins.
No, we just need someone. It's, you know, at
We
first
just
it
need
was-
warm bodies to go against Hungrybox.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
like,
Literally
I
just
heard-
more players. Like, please save us, anybody.
I used to hate his sets against Hbox because, you know, people talk about how close that rivalry was, but it actually was really lopsided in Armada's favor for a little stretch of time, which made their grand finals really boring. But now Hbox has beaten him 5 times in a row, and he's beating everyone else. Like, I feel like Armada, his destiny is to come back and beat Hbox, you know?
No,
You're just-
Destiny. No,
Yeah,
true
I mean,
Destiny.
that's the way that we all felt about Leffen, and then Leffen quit for PPMD. And now he's fucking juggling it and making tweets about how full screen super dash is the same thing as Mars dash dance.
I mean, I actually like this timeline.
I think it's great. No, I think it's amazing.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
you don't.
Good.
You guys
I think
complain
it's sick
about
as
all-
shit.
I'm just saying all this shit about Destiny. Like, get the fuck out of here. There's no Destiny. At any moment, like DBFZ, but for Armada can show up, and then he's gone. You know what I mean?
No, I just
you guys can't say
as
this is an ideal timeline when we've talked about how much the melee metagame sucks, like, right now.
I'm
It
just-
doesn't suck. It's just one matchup.
yeah.
I'm telling you.
I mean, I'm just
Whatever,
saying. It's
dude.
just like
I'm just saying when we released our
holding
PR,
on
it
to
sounded
the.
like a funeral in the last part.
I'm still holding on to the 2013 October prophecy of MutiKing becoming the best player in the world, and it still hasn't come true 4 years.
Great. I'll get to
5 years later.
MutiKing versus Hungrybox later. we'll get to that later. Kay, do you want to talk about Japan pretty soon, or?
Oh yeah, sure. I can talk about.
Yeah, I think we're gravitating too quickly to it Summit, so we should do this previous side first.
Yeah, we're all just really excited to talk about Summit because that's coming up, you know. So.
Yeah, I guess. So if people don't, is Slime coming to the podcast? Loaded question.
We have a special guest next week.
Yeah, stay tuned in for that. So, so if any of you guys don't know who I am, which is perfectly understandable, I write posts under the tag KBeats on Reddit about the Japanese melee scene. And that's how I got a part of Melee Stats, by just writing a shit ton of posts about it. And I would say that I am reasonably knowledgeable about this. So the reason why I wanted to talk about it today is that this weekend we actually have a couple of big tournaments coming up in Japan for the Melee scene. Normally, there aren't a lot of Melee tournaments that really are around the Japanese because it's such a small scene, but this weekend might be one of the bigger ones. It's kind of unfortunate that their best player right now, aMSa, can't come because it's conflicting with Summit. But no, I guess that's just how it goes. So does anybody have just any like questions they want to ask about the Japanese melee scene before I just go on, or?
Yeah, no, go.
Ambi, you're muted.
Yeah,
You're
Ambi,
muted.
dude, you gotta watch him. Come on.
Come on, dude.
I want to know where Flash is. I want you to bring back Flash, dude. He is the only acceptable player.
We all want Flashback. He's just not coming back. He's just like he's stuck commentating tournaments and being a slave of the Japanese workforce. Yeah.
Do we have anything we want to say about like? Actually, I do have one question. Where is you, the Falco?
Oh, you? He's in Mexico.
Okay, cool. That was my only question.
Well, he moved back a while ago because he's like he's a Mexican Japanese player, and because he left, actually the overall level of play in Japan has lowered down a bit. So I was kind of worried about like what would happen because if you lose like a top 3 player, then that could spell some bad things about the scene. But Okamid, the UKTO, literally came out of nowhere and just started like 2 tournaments out of nowhere, which is crazy because I don't think anybody has done that in Japan for the past like 2 or 3 years. So this coming weekend we have KVO XTSB 2018, which is usually known as the Evo of Japan. Not to be confused with Evo Japan, but it has a lot of games like King of Fighters, Guilty Gear, Street Fighter, and then these obscure Japanese games, and then Smash. So for the attendees, this is happening, I believe, on Saturday. And the attendees, let me bring it up real quick. Once again, aMSa will be absent because he's in Summit. So we have Watch Zoma Nagaimo, who's a really good Japanese Falcon, Plata, up-and-comer Yoshi, Sane, who's probably the best Fox in Japan right now, either him or Brito. And you have Konotori, everybody's favorite Japanese Falco, now that Yu is not around.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah. Nanashi, who went full Plup and dropped Samus for Cheek, and only goes Samus on FD.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and S Royale is back, and we also have Deathgazer, who's in Japan for some reason. He's a good UK Falco. He's come to Japan before. He got pretty wrecked. I don't remember who he lost to, but he didn't do very well. But I think he's gotten a lot better since then. And then we have possibly the most random player attending this tournament, Kleshka. I'm not. So if either of you guys, if any of you guys in the chat don't know who Kleshka is, he's the legendary player who defeated Shiz in the weirdest set ever in Genesis.
He's also Airy for people that might know him.
Yeah, and then he's Save. I have a question.
Yep.
Save, are you there?
Yeah, what's up?
Oh, how do you feel about Kleshka?
I mean, he's fine. He's a good Pikachu player.
Wait,
go ahead.
Wasn't Kleshka the one that was like giving you like a hard time or something?
No, I don't think anyone really gave me that hard of a time making the Pikachu video. Those guys were pretty quick in getting back to me.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, okay.
But what? Do we have any idea why he's traveling out to Japan for this?
No.
tournament?
Does anybody know his Twitter? Does he have a Twitter? He must have, right? I always want to look it up, but he his Twitter handle. I don't know what his Twitter handle is it Airy? Is it Kleshka? Is it 1,000 other tags that he has?
Are there any Pikachus in Japan? Like, would that be a matchup that people would that be like how Yoshi is to the rest of the world?
What, Pikachu? Yeah, I think there's a non-zero chance that Kleshka might just destroy Japan. Just because based off matchup knowledge and how that there's a lot of spacey players, and a lot of like the other players who are not aware of how that matchup really works as like Cheek or Samus or whatever. So I actually think this is a really cool experiment that I'm actually didn't know I wanted until now, to see like Pikachu
Okay.
Yeah.
If I can ask something, doesn't Japan? I only know like the history of Japan and what players were there, but I'm pretty sure like Japan has had a lot of mid-tier like secondaries and mid-tier players for a really long time. So I know it's not the same as Pikachu, but couldn't you apply like many of those same concepts like to?
I would say that a lot of the Japanese players at the current time are pretty new wave relative to like when Japan was like had all these weird like Link players, Dr. Mario players, and whatnot. To be honest, the only two really unorthodox players in Japan would probably be Zoma and aMSa, and Zoma goes Fox a lot of the time. So, and then you also have Zero, the Dr. Mario main, but then he doesn't do super well. So, and he also only lives in Osaka, and I don't think he's ever really traveled to a tournament in Tokyo before, so those players wouldn't have the experience. So I don't think any of them really have experience in the matchup, and the few that, if there's any player who would have experience in the Pika matchup, it'd probably be S Royale, right? Because he's just like that old school, but otherwise, yeah. Kleshka was also given like a super low seed as well, because I don't think they know who he is.
Okay, if you had to, just for like some of us, me included, who really don't understand the Japanese scene as well as you do, where like relative skill level to like an American region, what would you say like the closest, the best comparison of Japan would be, like the skill
like
fall
if I had
level?
to compare like their best player with like a random player in the US?
No, like the depth of skill in Japan. Like I'm just having a hard time getting a grasp on where exactly like number 1, 2, 3.
I would say that Japan is probably around the strength of like a good Midwestern state.
Really?
So
I feel like it's like New England. I feel like the skill level that's really, really comparable with that. Like,
I was like
that high up.
Yeah,
without
New
the
England
mid
is
level,
like,
yeah. Like, think about New England, dude. They've got like, especially if you include inactives for Japan. New England has like Crush, Slox, Zoso, Thorn, Lin, Calvar, Claps. You know what I mean? Like you got that group.
Yeah,
after that, it's sort of like a little bit peters out.
Yeah,
I think New England might be a little bit stronger, but
I think I might not be giving Japan enough credit. When I think Japan, I think like either just outside the top 100 or like SoCal Arcadian level, like the top end of SoCal Arcadian.
Yeah, I would. My first thought was New England, but then I honestly don't think a lot of the players are at the level of even Calvar. At the moment,
Rudolph did beat to his credit, he beat Calvar at Genesis. But I believe Rudolph at SoCal locals.
Yeah, I'm also including people like Flash and like Rudolph.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Okay, I wasn't counting Flash because I have
Flash is like
super.
I think Gucci, I'm not really sure where he stands right now. So,
I think someone like Lint versus someone like you. I guess if you counts, I know he's not really there anymore, but like I feel like the skill level is pretty reasonably comparable.
Oh yeah, if I had to pick like a year ago, then I would say that the comparison would probably be more apt. If I were to say now, it would the good players are basically just aMSa, Rudolph, and Gucci, and then everybody else is probably around borderline top 100, I'd say, which is where
would you put like Konatori in comparison to? I'm using SoCal as a reference, but how do you think Konatori would do like at a stacked Irvine local?
Konatori is super weird. He will beat like, because the last time he went to like Evo, I think he beat like Jace and Kira, and which was like surprising to me because like he did pretty well. But then in Japan, he literally loses to random. Like he literally loses to people. Some I haven't even heard of before, which is rare for me. So yeah, he's like, I don't know. So it's really hard for me to gauge where Konatori really. It's like, to Konatori's credit, the tournaments where he usually does poorly at are the ones that he POs. So I think that's generally pretty fair to not always hold that super against him, but otherwise it's very hard to gauge like where he stands. because he'll also just randomly do very well. He's always been that player since I followed him. Just random. His results are very random. At the moment, though, I think that the overall strength of Japan is weakened a little bit, and I think that Sane and Nanashi and those type of players would be around like the
I think Sane's
borderline.
really good.
Yeah, I think they're around the top 100 level. The thing is that every time that like Sane, Bito, like those people have recently traveled to the US, and none of them have really made a huge impact. So it's really hard for me to say that they would be as strong as some place like New England. I would probably put them maybe at Ohio level at the moment.
Okay, yeah,
Pretty good comparison.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Ohio's like what who's comparable to the real thing within Japan?
Probably either Konotori or Sane. Would probably be who I'd say is like the real thing. Yeah.
Do you have any other? Like,
I guess.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, I
No,
was
no,
gonna
no, go
say if
on.
you have anything else about like Japan this weekend, because you said it's a pretty big weekend for Japan.
Oh yeah, so that's KVO, and oh yeah, Mittens is also False Falco for anybody who doesn't know from Canada. Mittens is also
He's really
attending KSB, and then there's another tournament called Crazy Hand that's happening on Sunday. And that's also a pretty big tournament. It's mostly featuring the same players minus Kleshka, so I think that'd be pretty interesting to see as well.
Is Bill still in Japan or no?
Bill's is still in Japan. He's attending KSB and Crazy Hand. Yeah.
Is there any like bigger names that we know that are attending Crazy Hand?
Not at the moment. Rudolph is absent from both tournaments, which is a little disappointing, considering because he hasn't really been to much. The thing that people need to understand about Rudolph is he actually has like some of the lowest attendance in Japan as a whole, which is hard to blame him for because he's probably also the most remote player. He lives in Hiroshima, which is pretty far away from Osaka and Tokyo. But yeah, he's not there. Yu is moved away. Gucci, I think, is pretty busy, so he can't attend this tournament either. So Sane and Nanashi are probably like big names for people to look at. And Konotori if he just like randomly beats people.
Can I randomly shout out a set involving Rudolph?
Sure.
For any of you that haven't seen it, you should watch Rudolph versus ORLY, the first set. And then after you're done watching that, you need to watch Rudolph versus Drugged Fox at the Big House 5, I think.
Can you expand on this?
It's so funny.
Wait.
So Rudolph comes to the Big House. And he plays ORLY, who's like decent, like Midwest Falcon.
Solid Chicago.
And he beats ORLY and does like the most nightmarish pop off of all time.
Yeah, I remember that.
He's like, yes, I beat him.
He does
does the pose with the shirt, like, yes, I am superior to ORLY.
Yeah.
And then the immediate next set he plays Drugged Fox and beats Drugged Fox and does the exact same pop off. And it's like, dude, like these two are not comparable.
Drugged Fox. I forget which Big House it was. Oh no. Well, you'll find it on YouTube. Just watch those sets.
So
Liam in chat going, that's a classic set, the surfboard pop off.
Two of my favorite sets, and the fact that they go like close to each other in the same turn.
I really wanted Rudolph to beat Ice. I'm very sad that didn't happen.
Oh no, I was kind of I was happy.
I was so thrilled.
I was kind of scared.
Come
I
on.
was scared.
I mean, I hate Marth too, but I just want Japan to. And the fact that he was so close and he got like cheese. Oh god.
Dude.
What a role reversal, dude.
Oh my god. I don't know. I don't want to talk about that.
Okay, but do you want to talk about Summit?
Yeah, sure. Let's move on to something.
Oh, let's go.
We got it.
Ooh.
Yeah, sorry for boring you guys out.
Close set. Him and ORLY.
Yeah, I just wanted,
Yes.
I just wanted to show that real quick on the stream before we jumped off of that. So do
Dude,
we
look
want
at
to?
him. He's a fucking anime character.
Watch this pop off at the end.
Yeah.
Oh my fucking god.
Also, I really like the way you pronounce O'Reilly's tag.
Orly?
Yeah, it just sounds like you're saying orally.
How is it supposed to be pronounced? I always thought it was O'Reilly.
Yeah, it's O'Reilly.
Like
Yeah.
an owl.
O'Reilly, not like
Yeah.
not like an oral exam, like O'Reilly as in O'Reilly. It's like ire all over again.
Oh no, don't give me that. I pronounced it right. I just did the wrong inflection.
No, no, it's
Orly.
okay, Ambi. There was something bad I mispronounced last week. I think it was like med instead of M3.
Yeah, you called him med instead of M3D. Dude, that's so funny. That's like the most like you're out here like writing all this Smash history shit, and like it's like you're reading all the names. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
like this guy is med.
Like it blew my mind that like wait, it was M3D the whole time. Just,
Oh
Wait,
my
are you
God.
serious?
Yeah,
You didn't
it's-
know?
It was like you call it Goichi Go One. It's like is another really great example of this.
I mean, Go
Which
One
is
is a
the
lot more
exact same,
understandable.
the exact opposite problem.
No,
See,
I
I
mean,
was so
Go-
self-conscious from the Go One thing that I was like, oh, I got it. I won't get it wrong again.
I mean, Go One is a lot more understandable because that's like a cultural barrier. Like M3D actually has like zero excuse. Oh man.
So
It's
Summit.
like I remember you. Sorry. Oh yeah. Sure.
Okay,
Let's
so-
go on to that.
At least that's name
Summit.
talk. All right, Edwin, what do you got?
All right, guys, I'm gonna say it. Melee's last hope against Hungrybox is MewTwoKing, and I want to give a shout out to one person in particular about this, and that person is on this very show right now, and it's Ambi. So a few months ago, I believe Ambi and I were discussing Fox Puff, and Ambi hits me with the craziest take I've ever heard at the time. He types in the chat, "I think MewTwoKing plays the Fox versus Puff matchup the best," and I'm like, Ambi, what's wrong with you? This guy lives close to Hungrybox every time, gets back aired in the face, and he gets rested. Then he gets tilted and loses like 3-1 or 3-0. And Ambi was like, nah, dude, I don't know. Just like if you watch his sets, like when he's playing really well, Hungrybox can't do anything. And I was like, Ambi, this is just like, you're just wrong on this. Watch any Leffen, Armada, Plup, or Mango set. Like they're all better at the matchup. Now we're going to fast forward to a few months later. Hungrybox is 5-0 against Leffen in his last 5 sets against him. Hungrybox is 5-0 against Armada in his last 5 sets. Hungrybox is 5-0 against Mango in his last 5 sets. He's 4-1 against Plup. You know what he is against MewTwoKing? He's 3-2. He hasn't played him since the Big House 7. Now, because he hasn't played him that much, he doesn't have much footage or like practice against him, so he can't get used to him. The other thing is that MewTwoKing has a secret weapon as Summit. Now, granted, it's the same secret weapon that the other Fox players have, but he has 2 Zain. And you bet your ass in that household, you know who's going to be begging.
500 hours. Just those two.
MewTwoKing is going to grab 2 Zain, pull him into like the corner of the room, be like, you're coming with me.
Okay. All right. Now here's my hot take. Here's my, well, maybe not a hot take, but here's what I think might happen. So people know that Zain actually kind of likes Hbox, which is kind of rare for a Puff player, right?
Kind of rare for a player.
What do you think are the odds? What do you think are the odds that Zain is like, no, I will not play friendlies
Oh
with
my
you?
God.
Like, what do you think are the odds of that happening?
No chance. Literally no chance.
There's a backroom
No.
deal where Hbox gives him like half of his earnings if he wins.
That would be
that's
so
godlike.
messed up.
That's
Oh
not
my
grimy
God.
at all. That is
That's so
godlike.
screwed up, dude.
That is how you truly become a god of Melee.
Oh my god.
Like,
he makes a contract with Zain.
like I could totally see this happening, like, right? Like, I don't know about you guys. I think this, okay, so this is a hot take now. Now I've got your confirmation that it is indeed a hot take. But I think there's a non-zero chance where he's just like, oh man, I really like Hbox. I want him to win it. Fuck MewTwoKing.
Oh my god.
Well, how does he
A lot of
anti-prepare
Puff
him? He just doesn't play friendlies.
only plays friendlies with like the Falcon or like Wizzy
or he only
something.
plays friendlies with Hbox and like Cruncher.
Oh my god! There's just a dark corner.
Puff Ditto.
There's just a dark corner of Puff Dittos. One team dedicated to that.
Hbox is like tweeting out, and people say don't play friendly. I don't know, guys. I think there's a serious non-zero chance that this might happen.
No, that's not gonna. No, I think that's yeah, but like on an actual like kind of a interesting note, I looked at MutiKing Summit trends, and the conclusion I've come up with is that literally whatever you think about MutiKing is wrong, so go with the opposite. Like, we've seen him go into Summit, like, before off slumps, and just randomly do really well, or beat someone who is the best player in the world at some point.
Well,
and I think...
Didn't he
I'm telling you, I was right about MutiKing all along in this match.
Yeah, so I wanted to say ahead of time, Ambi, a few months ago, you were right, and I was wrong about this.
Okay, hold on. He got destroyed last Summit. Like,
yeah.
He got destroyed last Summit. Can we, like, go over that?
But it was because the format was bad, yeah. It was our fault.
Dude, here's what's gonna happen. Here's like Galaxy exploding brain.
We're gonna try to like outdo each other on this.
Right? MutiKing is the best at this match. He's gonna continue to improve at it, and he's gonna be the answer to Hungrybox and Jiggly. But he has a weakness. As
people
Hungrybox's Fox.
No!
So this is the death of Melee. Nobody can beat Hungrybox with Fox. Except for MutiKing, who can't beat Hbox. You know what I'm saying? He'll get into a counterpick war with him.
No.
Where he tries to get Hungrybox in the Fox Ditto.
Okay.
Oh, I was gonna say he just picks like Ganondorf against
like, okay,
oh
just
my
like,
God.
okay. So I know we're joking, and I know, we're all joking here, but...
I wasn't joking about it.
That is 100% serious.
To
entertain...
No joke.
to entertain Ambi's idea, to anyone who's unaware, MutiKing tweeted out some time ago that he was practicing friendlies with Hbox and Fox, and was losing.
Is that serious? There's no way that's real. Jesus Christ.
It's the endpoint of Melee, dude. It's Florida, man.
Dude, imagine like he's warming up for a set against Lucky, he's warming up for a set against Lucky, he's beating up like some other top 50 Fox or whatever. He's like, oh, I feel really good, like I'm gonna make it to top 8, and then Hungrybox sits down and he's like, hey, can I practice Fox against you? And MutiKing's like, yeah, sure. And he just like loses.
Dude, think about how excited MutiKing must have been that Hungrybox approached him for friendlies.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit, I have to play him. There must be some nugget of knowledge that I can ascertain from this. It's gonna be so enlightening. I'm so excited to play Hungrybox in friendlies. And then he just fucking loses.
To his Fox.
Nightmare.
What an emotional roller coaster. Like,
okay. So this is like universe exploding.
Oh no!
Oh my God.
We're taking it. What's one step further?
So Hungrybox loses or beats all the Foxes, but loses to MTK's Fox, and his Fox beat MutiKing's Marth. But MutiKing pulls out a puff and then beats his
Jesus Christ.
It's the same.
Yes.
He does it by ledge camping, by timeouts. And that is when Melee dies.
Oh my God.
No, that will be when Melee lives again.
MutiKing's puff was the answer.
It's gonna be like, dude, it's gonna be like those awful Mango Armada counterpick war sets that they had, like that era where they were like counterpicking each other every fucking game. They were like super not warmed up with the characters, so it was so awful. But instead of Mango Armada like picking sick characters and doing crazy shit, it's gonna be fucking Hungrybox and MutiKing.
Yeah,
like different ways to camp each other.
Yeah, it's gonna be MutiKing like on the ledge and Hungrybox is like back airing in the middle of Drew.
Oh, it's gonna be so awesome.
Chroma says Hbox goes icy.
Oh my god.
We're going too deep.
We're like
Too
just
deep.
making the stupidest prediction.
Oh my god.
Shut it down.
man.
I actually, the thing is, I started this off with a genuine opinion that I thought like was out there but still reasonable, and then I blame Ambi. Ambi took or no, I blame Kay. He took it with the two Saint conspiracy.
I mean, no, but the difference is I actually believe that one.
Oh my god.
I legitimately believe that one, and you heard it here first. I swear to God, if Toussaint tweets that.
Do you think there's any like, or on a semi-serious note, do you think there's any merit to the fact that like, do you think the distance between the time frame between Hbox and MutiKing's last set favors MutiKing at all, or do you think it won't play a factor? I just feel like it would take time to get used to how like MutiKing plays.
I feel like if anything, it'd be the other way around, right?
You think it would hurt MutiKing?
Yeah, I think Hbox has leveled up considerably since the last time they played. So that's my intuitive thought.
I think MutiKing's chances in the matchup are directly proportional to how many hours he plays the Toussaint.
I feel like he's gonna hog Toussaint the entire time. So,
see, here's the thing: it's just like, Hbox has leveled up considerably in the matchup. The thing is that MutiKing's playstyle is like super 50-50, right? You know what I mean? So I feel like in some sense that it's going to be hard for Hbox to kind of adapt to that style. And, because MutiKing, in my opinion, has a pretty different approach to Hbox or Puff compared to any other Fox. And I think that Hbox's approach to it, I think this next set would be pretty... I don't know if it would be a function of just how rusty King is in the matchup, or if it's like a statement of like how M2K plays against that character. That's just my take.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say he's not gonna be rusty in the matchup. Like I think anything. Let's dispel the notion that he'll be rusty in the matchup when he'll be hogging Toussaint the entire.
He knows exactly what he's.
The only,
Well, I mean, here's the thing. What if he loses to Toussaint for most of the friendlies? What, Save, what were you going to say?
Oh, I was going to say not to the rain on the parade of everyone, but for Hbox and MutiKing to play, it's with the projected brackets, it's pretty improbable. MutiKing
I was gonna make this exact
has
point.
to beat Armada, and then he has to beat Plup to play him in winners finals. Yeah,
I don't think that's undoable for him. I think he could play. I think he'll either play Hbox and losers, or he'll beat most of the people in his group.
But then who's going to be knocking Hbox into losers then?
I think MutiKing will get sunned by Armada. I think he's gonna get destroyed.
Yeah. I think it's fun to talk about, but I actually just really don't think it's gonna happen. What will happen though, and what I'm interested in talking about, is aMSa versus axe, because that's a round one match, so we know that's gonna happen. So I think we should devote a little bit of time talking about this. What do you guys think? aMSa axe.
So I would have told you before that Axe would have like really done well against aMSa, because if anybody in the world has Yoshi practice, it's him, right?
Yeah.
Right? So you would have thought that he would have come up with some answer, whether it was like using Pikachu and developing strategies, or like playing Falco or whatever. But then he got like destroyed. So I'm like thinking.
So I actually think that Axe's character spread is extremely bad for Yoshi. Like he does have the practice, which is like the weird thing, which is why I think it's such an interesting matchup. But I think that Falco is really annoying versus Yoshi because of the lack of multi-hit moves, and Pikachu has the same problem, and you can't really gimp Yoshi as well as you can like other characters, which is a lot of his play with Pikachu, and like I can't imagine him playing like Youngling. So like I think this is going to be a really difficult matchup for Axe, and I'm honestly not really sure what his answer is going to be, but I'm interested because he definitely would have an answer from his Vector Man playing. But,
yeah, that's like what my curious is, right? Because like Falco is annoying, but he still wins the matchup more so than any of his other characters, and it's really a function of like how practiced or how well you know that matchup. And if, like I said, if anybody was going to know the matchup, it'd probably be Axe, right? So. There's also a non-zero chance he might go Fox, because he does have a Fox. So
That'd be interesting. I don't think it'll happen though.
So I think if you watch their set at EGLX, Axe is definitely and aMSa, even aMSa tweeted it after, but Axe is definitely not playing up to par. And I think if you watch the set again, he just plays very impatient. He plays more impatiently than usual, and he makes a bunch of errors. So I wouldn't read into their last set too much.
I mean, can you really say that Axe is playing too impatient? I feel like patience isn't really a big part of Axe's game in general.
Yeah, but I think there's a difference
it's
between
necessary for that matchup.
But there's a difference between like overshooting Nair, like just every now and then, or like doing it a good majority of the time versus just like always doing it, just like not doing, and just like playing very stubborn. Like I don't think I think against aMSa and against Yoshi in particular, like even if your execution is off by a little bit, like you'll just get hit by Nair, you know. Like I don't know. Just watch the set again. I wasn't really. Axe's lack of execution sort of stood out more to me, but maybe that's because I've seen him and aMSa play like, on stream a lot before, you know.
I think that's fair. But if there's one player that I really believe in his rate of improvement with the least amount of resources possible, it's aMSa. Like. Yeah. He has proven time and time again that he's had some of the least amount of resources with like not that many great players, like not that many tournaments around him. He has to face a language barrier in terms of like using tools like 20xx and emulators and stuff like that. And and he plays a character that he can't really share knowledge with, and if he could, it would also be met with the language barrier, right? Mm-hmm. And yet, time and time again, he has shown that he's overcome almost every single matchup that we have historically counted him out of. And, like, it's hard for me to see, even if Axe wasn't playing up to par, I just think that aMSa would consider that aspect and still find a way to improve in that matchup more. And even I also just think based on that matchup alone, I also think that matchup is not in Pikachu's favor. And with all those combinations like together, I would probably heavily favor aMSa.
Yeah, I was just about to say to kind of wrap up the discussion. I would love to hear Kay. You're obviously aMSa is probably going to win the matchup. You'd say that?
Yeah, I would say that.
Yeah, I'm also favoring aMSa in the matchup because of kind of all the things you guys laid out of character matchups and stuff like that. Ambi,
so I'm the only Axe believer?
Yeah, Ambi, or do you aMSa?
No, I'll take Axe.
I will say that I don't think it's a big favorite. I definitely think that Axe could win, and if he did win, I would not be like extremely surprised. But like if you made me bet, I'd probably bet aMSa over Axe. It just seems like a really hard draw for him.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be a 3-0.
In aMSa's favor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm writing this down, by the way, for the first round. So I'm the only believer in Axe here. The rest of you.
What makes you want to choose Axe over? Oh yeah, I have aMSa easily. Yeah, I'm curious why you'd pick him over, because it seems like I
just saw the EGLX.
Yeah, go ahead.
I saw the EGLX set, and I just thought Axe played so badly. Like it's like uncharacteristically really bad and sloppy, and like not the. And I think if anyone can. Maybe I am. I know they're friendlies on stream, and when aMSa was in Arizona, that I guess that was a little bit a while ago, but I don't know. I just trust Axe.
Okay, that's fair enough. Moving over to the other 4-5 matchup, do you think it's as clean cut Wizzrobe versus SFAT? Anyone want to take the ball on that?
We've talked about this before.
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, ever since like SFAT took a step up against aMSa at that one Battle Gateway in Japan, I've been curious if he would eventually kind of catch on to the same thing against Wizzrobe. Like, cause like he was always getting destroyed by aMSa, and then at this tournament he finally like went like positive on him. And I'm always, every time these two players make a bracket, I'm always thinking like, is this the time where SFAT learns how to play against Wizzrobe? Like, here's the thing, it's like, Wizzrobe loses against RK, he loses to L, and then recently he lost to Kells, and then why does he like not just beat, destroys SFAT. He takes his soul and rips it out of his chest. Like, what the hell? So I don't know.
Yeah, until SFAT kind of, he's beaten him before, but this late stretch has just been, Wizzy always finds something mid set, like a crouch cancel grab, for instance, when SFAT is coming down from the air, and he just kills him off one opening. So
isn't it like 6, 7 now? It has to be something like crazy like that.
I don't know if it's that bad, but it's pretty bad.
Yeah, it's
yeah,
pretty bad.
I'm gonna bet on Wizzy here. I mean, it wouldn't be crazy if SFAT like SFAT's a smart player. I'm sure he could figure something out, but just it's been long enough to where I would go with Wizzy pretty solidly.
Yeah, and I think
I would like to see another Wizzrobe Hbox set. So if anything, I would be kind of like just to see Wizzrobe make it farther than SFAT is just a personal thing. So
I want to see Wizzy Leffen.
Oh yeah, Wizzy Leffen. Yeah, that'd be very cool.
When's the last time they played? It feels like it's been a while.
I think.
It was that DreamHack, right?
Yeah, Leffen took the first set 3-2, and then Wizzy swept him in the second set.
Yeah, and then Leffen was playing pretty bad, but
yeah, the second set he was playing awful.
Yeah. Yeah, I would be very.
But I guess the thing is that like, even with Axe, I admit that you could say this sort of as a counterpoint to me that you can't discount people like just playing bad. Like that is part of their skill range. So to be fair to you guys and to like be critical of myself when I say something like, oh, Axe is playing bad, I don't look into it too much. Like that is part of his skill range. And I guess the same goes for Leffen here if you were to play someone like Wizzy.
Yeah, I would be interested to see, because I want to see if DreamHack was really a function of Leffen bad, or if it's just like Wizzrobe has really done better in that matchup. I say that, but then he did just to Kels. I just don't know about him and Spacey's matchups. It's weird.
Yeah, I'm trying to see other second round matchups that would be interesting to watch. MutiKing Plup seems. I mean, obviously we've pretty much covered the only two first round matchups that are gonna flip. Like Hugs isn't gonna beat Armada, Two Saints not gonna beat Hbox. I don't see any of those matches flipping.
Yeah,
you don't see Wes having any shot against. Okay, if you guys had to give Wes like odds against Leffen, what is it?
80-20.
80-20.
80-20, like 80%. Actually, that might be a little generous.
Generous for who?
For West.
Be careful what you say. Wes might insult you.
Yeah, no. Whatever I say, I'm still West's #1 fan. But you got to be realistic sometimes.
Well, who's it 80-20 in favor for? And
Leffen.
Who is it being too generous to is what I'm curious about.
I think he's saying Wes is 4-1. So for every 5 sets they play, Leffen will win 4. Wes will take 1.
I think it's really generous to West.
Yeah, if you express it like that, I definitely back up on that 80-20. Yeah, I don't think it's a, like Kay would say, it's a non-zero chance that West could win, but it's a very small number that West wins that. Hopefully, I will say that I think it'd be really exciting if West won that set, and just in general if West
started so good for West.
Because you know why? We might see Wizzrobe Westballz again, right?
Yeah, Westballz makes it. If Westballz beats Leffen, he makes it out of the pool in winners.
Oh, does he?
Yeah,
okay.
Well, then he would play against Wizzy, and I would favor him a little bit in that because Falco's good in that matchup. That's a really hard matchup for Falcon, and he's won recently. And that puts him at 2-1. He's getting out of pools and winners if he can beat Leffen, but that's a big if.
What do you think of 10-1 for West versus Leffen?
I think that's a lot more fair. Like every 10 sets, Westballz would probably take 1. I think that seems a lot more fair.
Yeah, I mean, I think it'd be more interesting if Westballz took 1 right now, but
it's not a shot at West. I just think Leffen is so good in that matchup.
Yeah, I think Leffen's rate of improvement was a lot steeper than Westballz's, and so. We'll see. I think Summit will kind of be the make or break for Westballz, and his trajectory for the rest of the year, because I think he's kind of like picking slightly back up again with like his win at SSS. While he didn't, it's not really a huge indication. At least it's not like a bad indication either. Even though he still lost to Commaster at at Flatiron.
How do you guys feel about him? Because he's projected second round to play SFAT. How do you feel about West versus SFAT? How do you think that's going to pull out?
He usually wins that. He's probably the slight favorite or slight favorite.
I wouldn't be surprised either way though, because their sets are usually pretty close. So I think it could go either way.
Yeah.
So.
And then it'd still be tough for him, even if he wins that, to get on winner's side, because he's MewtwoKing after that.
Okay, can I actually have a hypothetical here?
Yeah.
MewtwoKing Westballz.
Dude, MewtwoKing's beaten him so many times in a row.
But do you remember the last 2 sets that they've had?
Do
you understand? Because like, I remember like the one that was periscoped or recorded via phone, where like MewtwoKing was just like camping the ledge, and then he got on the stage and then did a rando F smash, and then Westballz like DI'd way to the right, and that's how he won. Do any of you guys remember that?
Yeah, I remember that,
yeah,
and I remember when King literally timed out Wes.
Yeah.
Wes just shined back aired in the middle of the stage.
That was when MewtwoKing made that tweet about like how it was upset that Mango.
Yeah, it was so funny.
Take, I think Westballz has a better chance of winning against Leffen than he does against MewtwoKing. I don't think he's disciplined enough to win against MewtwoKing.
I gotta think about that.
I used to think the same way. The thing is that I think MewtwoKing is slowly getting more.
I think that definitely is a hot take after thinking about it a little bit.
Yeah, but you gotta consider how many times MewtwoKing.
Wait, who is a hot take? Me or Save? I'm not. Oh really?
Yeah, I think that Leffen would be way harder for Wes.
Yeah,
like, Wes doesn't have the fast follower killing stopping power that he used to have. And I think him falling off in that matchup comparatively is a lot scarier than what MewtwoKing used to be and is no longer.
Yeah.
I feel like MewtwoKing will have so I don't think this will be out of shape MewtwoKing like he'll have so much time to play during the week. You know, maybe that is like a qualitative sort of thing I'm ascribing to him versus something that's backed up, but I feel like given their history, like what has Wes shown us that he can beat? Like it just doesn't. I feel like the fact that Wes has beaten Leffen before, like in closer memory, and I don't think he's ever beaten MewtwoKing.
Yeah.
Like maybe I'm just overvaluing like sets that aren't relevant anymore. So is that what you guys think?
That's what I think.
Okay.
I just think that if Westballz does well at this tournament, I think it might be his chance to beat MewtwoKing final. I think he has a better.
I would be very, very surprised.
I would be very, very surprised too.
Question: do you guys trust Zain over Wes more than MewtwoKing over Wes?
In the Martino, definitely not. I'd pick Wes any day.
No.
You mean Zain over Wes versus?
Versus Wes?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a tough one.
Yeah,
I'd probably still pick MewtwoKing. I take it back. It's not that much of a tough one.
Yeah, I think I default to MewtwoKing on that.
You know what I mean? Like it's not.
Yeah, no. I see where you're coming from.
I think both MewtwoKing and Leffen are really hard. I think MewtwoKing and Leffen are really tough draws for Leffen. I still want to say MewtwoKing, but I could see an argument for Leffen. I just don't think it's as clear cut as you guys are making it sound.
I think Leffen will destroy me. That might be a hot take, but I think.
No, I'd agree with that.
I don't think that's a hot take.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. But I'm not even saying it'll be close. I'm saying it'll be like destruction.
You think it'll be like a press? You think it'll be like a 3-0?
Yeah, I think it'll be a 3-0.
A 3-0 is a little much against a North player.
I guess there's FD, but there's just the thing is just.
I think that's happened like maybe twice.
I think Leffen is like slowly starting to get in a better and better mindset towards like head of like that era, and I think that.
I just don't think he'll win 3-0. Like I think that there's like a non-zero chance that Leffen tries the Martino for FD. Like I really just don't think it's going to be a 3-0. I think Leffen will win handily, but it's very difficult to 3-0 MewtwoKing Fox player.
Yeah, I mean that's fair.
Leffen being the favorite in their set, but I'm gonna go with MewtwoKing because this is Summit, and I feel like that we always go through this stretch where we think, oh, like MutiKing is on a slide, or MutiKing has done really bad as last.
And he has one good tournament. We're like, go Return of the King.
Yeah, exactly. Like I feel like this is that tournament, and we shouldn't.
That's bold.
We shouldn't sleep on him. I think if he loses this, if he does really bad and gets like 9th at this tournament, then I would be a little more
If
worried.
MutiKing wins Summit, I'm paying all of you $20.
But I feel like we
You're just gonna say that? Like I didn't even put anything on the line.
No, I'm just like, that's how much I just want that to happen.
All right, here's an interesting question. Who do we got for the 03s in each pool? There's exactly going to be one, as far as I understand.
Oh,
Who do
you
we
mean?
got for the 03?
Oh, okay.
Projected, it's Ginger and Toussaint. But I have a little bit of faith that Toussaint will win a set. I think given 3 tries, 2 of which are actual tries.
Yeah, I could see Toussaint
Toussaint
beating.
would-
I could see him beating None, and I could maybe see him beating Hugs. But I think
I could see Toussaint beating Hugs.
yeah,
I could definitely see him beating Hugs. That's a very difficult matchup for Hugs.
Yeah.
I think it's a much higher probability that Ginger goes 0-3 than Toussaint goes 0-3. I think that no one would disagree with that.
So yeah, so I think that Ginger is a lot easier to place. But for that pool, the one that Toussaint is in, I think either None or Hugs goes 0-3, which I think is pretty hot.
Dude, I just thought of the funniest thing. I don't think it'll happen, but what if, like, so we've talked before on this podcast about how Summit people might evaluate it as a serious tournament, but couldn't you see like Mango getting super drunk or something and then losing 3 sets? How funny would that be? Like,
I don't think that would happen. I
Like,
don't
he
think
loses to None. Like, I don't think it'll happen either. But
I think None would be such a ridiculous loss for Mango, though.
Yeah.
I think like he could be Blackout, and I feel like he'd still be able to beat None.
Yeah, I would
Just
agree
like
with that.
Mango versus Falcon, like, oh my gosh.
But dude, can you just imagine like if he lost to None, like
You want to hear
Us
the
to None,
Yeah,
to
just to,
Saint,
like,
and
get-
Oh,
Hugs? Like,
Yeah.
like,
how
like
funny?
2 players
Mango
that he
gets
has like
super-
insane records against, and Toussaint.
I could
Like,
totally.
no, dude, he's not going 0-3 in that pool.
I
Dude,
could
I don't
totally
know how
see
it is.
Mango
Is it any
sober
more
Mango.
ridiculous than Toussaint conspiracy?
Wait, Save, what were you saying?
Sober Mango could go 1-2. I could see Mango losing the Axe because he's projected round 3 to play against Axe.
To go 1 and 2?
I could totally
Yeah,
see
no, I
Mango
can
going
win
1
that.
and 2.
Okay, all right. So like
too,
non-joking for me, I
I was
want to
playing
see.
Hbox. Yeah, no.
So non-joking for me, I want to see Mango versus Armada. I think that could be really interesting, especially if Mango, especially if he went full Falco for a whole set, or at least brought Falco out on some stages. Like if he brought him out
Yeah.
on Yoshi's or Pokemon.
The only way,
okay,
the only way we're gonna see that is if Mango beats Hungry Box, or they meet in Winners Finals.
Do you think there's a chance that Zain super busters out this tournament?
Absolutely not. His pool's so good for him. There's literally no pool that you can design to be better for Zain. Literally none. I
When
can't
you say
imagine
buster out,
making
you
a
mean, like,
single
lose all the
reasonable swap
games?
here that would hurt or that would help Zain in any way. Like if I was rigging the bracket for Zain, I'm already done.
Oh, all right.
I mean, I would.
Hold on here.
Yeah, well, Zane's
Hold
not
on.
playing 2 Foxes. Yeah, no, he's got Zane's projected to have Ginger, which is probably a win, and then have Wizzy. I don't think that's the easiest bracket he could have. Any Fox in place of Wizzy would probably be easier for him. Well, maybe not Leffen, but
I think Wizzrobe will beat Zain.
yeah,
I think he'll
agree.
beat him in heartbreaking fashion again.
I'm just saying that I don't think any seeding swap that like could actually make sense would
I
possibly
can't
help
see
him.
Zayn losing to Ginger though.
Yeah, no,
Is
that's a
Zain
win.
good against Falco?
He's alright.
Yeah, I think he's solid. He's not
Like,
as
I
good
know
as
he's
I
he
think
is
he
in
could beat
Fox.
Ginger.
I know he's beaten
I don't think he could
Westballz.
beat Mango. Like,
Yeah, and well,
it's kind of a meaningless question given his current level. It's like he's square in the middle between like 2 big gaps for the Falcos.
yeah, that's true.
I mean, we could talk about this for like an hour, but I don't think we'll actually get anywhere in terms of productive competition.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just thinking it's just.
Andy, you
I don't
think
know.
Ginger has any shot at Zayn if they play or no?
I think there's a shot. I think it'd be a really big upset though.
Mhm.
But I don't think Zain has the same punching power against Falco that he does against Fox. So it's like not unreasonable.
So
I think if Ginger was like a Fox player that was the same exact level, he'd have no shot.
Yeah. So
Do you think Wes has? Do you think Wes has a better or worse chance than Ginger against Zain?
That's a tough one, actually.
Yeah. See.
I would intuitively say that Wes has a better shot. I think Wes has patched up his game a little bit in that matchup, but it's hard to say. Wes is so erratic.
So with the projected bracket, if Ginger makes the huge upset, which I don't think he does, and beats Zain, he'd have Wizzy. Do you think Ginger could possibly beat Wizzy? Ginger could be coming out on winner's side if he beats Zain. That would be great.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, if he plays Wiz, I think didn't they play at Full Bloom?
Did they?
I don't think they did.
Let me.
Yeah, hold on, let me check.
Yeah, but that could be Ginger. That would be Ginger coming out on winner's side. He'd be 2-1.
Yeah,
that's crazy. Considering 30 minutes ago we were talking about him being the most likely to go 0-3.
Yeah, but I still think it's like a very small chance of Ginger beating Zain.
Yeah, I think that match is huge though.
No, I don't think they ever met. No, they did. Wizzrobe won.
He won what?
3-0. 3-1.
Yeah.
How long ago? When did they meet?
It was in for 7th. It was at March, so 24th for 7th.
Yeah. But I mean,
yeah, I think it was Full Bloom.
Yeah, it was Full Bloom.
I think Ginger probably has a better chance against Wizzy than he does against Zain.
Is it worth talking about Wizzy versus Falco, or is Westballz and Mango so good in the matchup that it's hard to tell? Like, do any of you think he's quote like weak in the matchup, or do you think Mango and West are just that good in it, or relatively skilled enough?
No, I think Wizzrobe is just very good against Falcon. As good as a Falcon can be.
I don't know if I feel like that's pretty confident, but I still think he's pretty good at it relative to his level.
Wizzrobe?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
I still think he's Ginger's best way out.
Oh yeah, well, that's only assuming he actually.
Yeah, I mean, like he still makes bracket no matter what happens in the pools, right? It's all just like seeding.
Yeah.
So like it doesn't really matter. Ginger could probably just play someone in losers from the other pool, like Chroma said in chat, and he'll probably do fine. You know what I mean? Like I can see him being like none. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think Ginger loses out at Summit. I think he at least takes 1 win.
I don't know. Someone has to lose every set, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, no, that's not true.
Yeah, that's not true. Actually. Yeah, I mean, you could.
That's kind of weird to think about. That.
Yeah.
It's possible that not everyone loses at least, or there's not going to be at least one person that loses every set.
There won't be a Blade Jaw. Yeah.
The most random Summit pick of all time.
I still forget.
Props to Blea, but that is so out of nowhere. I still have no clue how that happened.
Dude, more power to him.
You know, it's sick. I'm happy for that's awesome that he got backing and he got in. It's just funny that it's just like completely out of nowhere.
Is there any other matchups or like projected? Well, I guess we could look at like winners finals and see kind of what we expect going on here. Let me pull up the projected. We have Plup. Yeah, we have Plup, aMSa, Armada, MewtwoKing, Hbox, Wizzrobe, and then Leffen, Mango.
Plup, aMSa, that'll be fun. What character do you think Plup is going to go in that set?
I think he's going to go Sheik. I think that's going to be pretty easy for Plup.
You think so?
Yeah,
really?
I think so.
Have they played since GTX?
No, they haven't.
No, they haven't.
I don't know. I trust Plup. I trust Plup has worked on that since then. And since like their other sets that they played. I don't know, man. I have a lot of faith in Plup. I really just feel like Plup is inevitably gonna become the best player.
Well,
so.
See, I feel some bias here because I saw your fantasy bracket. And...
That's fair enough. But I mean, I did pick him for that reason. I will say that I don't know. a lot of the if there's no upsets in its Westballz, it's gonna be really rough. Because I think it's just gonna be another Plup Hbox winners finals, grand finals. I think like unless I don't know, man. Unless like Wizzrobe beats Hbox or something. Something out of there. But like I guess it is a pretty tough bracket for Hungrybox, now that it's pointed out. He gets Wizzrobe and a Leffen into Plup/Armada. Which is like about as hard as you can get for Hungrybox. But I still think he's just gonna win. I don't know.
That's so boring, dude. You're the hot takes person. You're supposed to.
Have to be reasonable, dude.
I've given some pretty hot takes.
Has a pretty low shot of not winning this tournament.
Yeah, now that I know that MutiKing the Hungrybox Slayer is unlikely to. Now that I know
that's a little disappointing.
Like if you also think about the fact that I think Plup has the hardest possible bracket for him, and I think he's the most likely to beat Hungrybox. I really do think that it's like pretty safe to bet on Hungrybox for this tournament.
How come you're so confident in Plup? Just because you believe in his skill level, or is it something?
I also think Sheik is really broken.
I was really
the truth comes out
for like a more like analytical, like you're about to like break open like this fucking egg of knowledge, and it's like
I really
egg, and then you just like.
It's just like so disappointed. I thought you were gonna
see like how to basic.
Yeah, I was just about to say yeah.
That was like the how to basic. Yeah.
Do we have any thoughts about Armada MutiKing at all? I have no clue.
I have literally zero thoughts about that. I think that's gonna go like every other Armada MutiKing set.
Have they played since?
Hey,
Canada
don't
Cup?
say MutiKing beat him in their last.
Yeah,
set.
Canada Cup he won.
I honestly do think King will get destroyed.
Oh.
I think it will be a close 3-0.
Yeah, sure. I'll go. No. It'll be a progressively worse and worse 3-0. It'll be close, and then it'll be a 2-stock, and then it'll be a 3-stock.
No, I'm gonna make a bold take, so I'll be completely wrong, as if history has shown anything. I'll take MutiKing over Armada.
Wow,
I mean,
I'm not gonna go there.
Hey,
I mean that's the future I want.
Yeah.
Save. No. Like that's the future I want.
Is it really the future you want? Armada comes back to Summit. Armada loses to MutiKing round 1 of winners. Armada quits Melee forever.
Hey, that's our best. MutiKing beating Armada is our best chance of getting MutiKing Hungrybox.
Yeah, you know what? No, I'm on this train.
Yeah, let's go, Edwin.
Gonna beat Armada. He's gonna beat Plup.
No. You guys gotta think about this long term. Okay? What do you think is harder for Hungrybox? Beating MutiKing or beating Leffen and then beating Armada? In a row. Which of these is harder?
This is actually a surprisingly difficult question.
Yeah,
I don't think it's as obvious as that you're making it out to be.
Like they're both out of like this is both their first tournament in a while, especially for Armada. Like if the last year's shown anything is that their sets run really close and Armada usually scrapes it out the end. So rationally speaking, looking at this, if you were to ask me at any other tournament, I'd be like, oh, Armada's gonna win the first game by 2 stocks. He's gonna clutch out game 2. MutiKing's gonna win game 3 by 2 stocks, and then Armada's gonna pull a stitch face and like 3-stock MutiKing game 4. That's what I would normally tell you. But because MutiKing defies logic and expectations at Summit,
I could see it.
I was gonna say MutiKing's gonna 3-0 Armada, but I take that back. I think he'll. I can't
think of a single less likely out.
Yeah.
Hey, it's happened, dude.
So do we?
I actually have no clue. I think that's a straight up.
Wait, Save, what were you gonna say?
No, I'm saying how I dismissed that MutiKing is probably not going to play Hungrybox, but aMSa could beat Plup. MutiKing beats Armada. Does MutiKing beat aMSa? And then we see Hungrybox.
aMSa makes winners finals.
It's a very real possibility.
What if aMSa wins Summit? What if he wins the tournament? Dude, we've been throwing this out the entire time. He has the perfect bracket. He's won Plup before.
This could happen.
He can beat MutiKing if MutiKing pulls out the win.
Holy shit.
Hungrybox has to beat both Wizzrobe and Leffen or Mango.
No. What if Mango beats Hbox? Oh my God!
Mango
AbsentPage in
finals?
Winterside Grants. He's got 2 shots to beat the inevitable winner of the tournament.
Holy shit!
My fucking God!
This is a tinfoil hat.
Edwin, I think you have to update your Cinderella runs of all time.
Smash something.
Holy shit!
Oh my
This
God!
could
As
happen.
soon as you said, "Will MutiKing beat aMSa?"
I will switch to Yoshi.
Real exploding brain.
Oh my God!
I will switch to Yoshi.
like when as soon as you said, "Will MutiKing beat aMSa?" like the collective minds of the stars just went.
I love how we're all like so confident that MutiKing will lose to aMSa if they play. Like it's not like he's lost all the time. Like they split their last 2 sets against each other.
It's not crazy. It's the fact that it's not impossible gives me hope.
No, it's not gonna.
It's not
aMSa's
gonna
not
be
gonna.
Hbox beats aMSa 3-0 and claps.
Oh
Okay,
yeah.
so
Then we
Andy,
all cry.
wait, so just
Shout
to
out
clarify, Andy believes in Plup against aMSa, but K, Save, and I are pro aMSa, or are we pro
You guys
Plup?
are nuts.
Uh,
You guys are nuts if you're all for
I don't-
pro AbsentPage here. Like, I think it's hilarious, but like,
I don't think I'm pro AMSA.
Hold on. First of all, you can't pin this on me. I didn't say aMSa is favored over Plup. Now I will say that aMSa is favored over Plup. I mean, I'm just saying. I think it's interesting because the way that like people handle their losses is pretty different from one another, and I always think it's pretty interesting to see like some person come back and revisit a matchup and do substantially well in it. aMSa is one of those people who just like always has like that crazy upward rate of improvement, and he like destroyed Plup last time. And I think that while I would favor Plup, I wouldn't be surprised to see it go either way. I think it would be close. I think aMSa's knowledge against Sheik actually crazy, and the rate of improvement that Plup could have against a really good Yoshi, I don't think is fast enough to compensate for how good aMSa's gotten in that matchup.
What do you
Dude, I'm
think
just letting you know, Plup is gonna, if Plup beats him, he's gonna beat him with Fox. That's all I'm saying.
What do you think the spread is, KB?
That's my out there prediction.
Okay, what do you think the spread
No,
is? Like,
Plup pulls out the Samus and beats him.
I think Plup could beat him with Samus. I think Plup could beat AbsentPage with like 5 characters. I think you guys are nuts for even suggesting that AbsentPage. Even if AbsentPage wins, I won't back down on this. I'll be like, no, like if you're 7-3 favored, you lose 3 out of 10 times. Like
I can't wait till AMSA wins.
But what if it's not 7-3 favored?
I can't wait till AMSA
It
wins
is.
and someone clips that, and we just spam this clip over and over again to
Andy,
Andy.
you're giving me this really zany expression right now. I don't think I'm on your side with this.
Okay, guys.
you guys are nuts.
I have to keep it really quiet because there are people next door to me that are getting really upset at me and texting me. So I'm just gonna say it. Plup is gonna beat him with Fox. That's all.
Is this the Melee Stats ASMR podcast episode now?
I can be as loud as I want.
Wait, hold on. I'll just go downstairs.
Are you gonna hang up?
We're not gonna have a wheat situation.
Hotel or apartment?
Welcome to my house. This is my bedroom. Now we're in the hallway.
And that's the chandelier, because like I got so much money.
I'm on
from
the second.
Melee
Now I'm on the first floor. You want to see my basement? It's behind this door. Let's turn on the lights.
Andy for the commentary couch at Summit.
My light's not working. Oh well.
I'm pretty sure that Edwin has had like a perpetual blackout for like the past like 5 podcasts.
His
Okay,
writing
hold on.
hasn't
Why
been
is
making
your
enough
entire
money.
apartment like pure darkness? Like I thought it was just your room, but your like entire apartment is just literally darkness.
Melee Stats
Alright.
doesn't pay well, man.
Are you like a vampire, Edwin? Like what the fuck?
No, I'm not a vampire.
Why are there like minimal light sources in your apartment?
What is going on?
So Plup is gonna beat aMSa with Fox. That's
You
my
guys are
prediction.
fucking nuts.
Nah.
Save. Actually,
Dude,
did you
don't you
say
be
whether or
cheating.
not aMSa was favored?
Oh no! I think Plup's favored easily. I just love to see
Thank
aMSa
you,
win.
Save.
I think it's closer than Ambi would be willing to admit, but I think Plup is probably the favorite.
I just really think.
I wanted to
can't say
have
this. I can't let Kay think that he doesn't have the tinfoil hat opinion here, right? Like I'm perfectly willing to like field this train of thought, right? Like, man, I have this really spicy hot take that aMSa's favored over Plup, the second best player in the world.
Ambi, you need to turn
Right?
off
Like,
your.
I get it. That's very amusing. Like, oh, I'm the Japan guy, so I have to be favored.
Is that? I think I timed you out for that. No, but Ambi.
I'm willing to take it, right? Like, but like I feel like you're trying to suggest that I'm the one with the hot take here.
Ambi, turn off your.
You're the one with the hot take. Okay, do not make me like shit talk your violin plots. I'm just saying that aMSa is just barely favored over Plup. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that it's gonna be a 3-0. I'm not saying it's gonna be a wash. I'm not saying Plup doesn't have a chance of winning.
I still
I'm
think
just saying it's slightly. If it was like 51 to 49% is like what I think.
No, I still can't get over if aMSa beats Plup.
Yeah.
MutiKing beats Armada. None of us have any faith in MutiKing.
The fact that that's a non-zero probability that we can have aMSa in winners finals is fucking insane.
Abby, we're having this discussion. When it happens, when the set happens, we will know.
No, we won't.
Yeah, we will.
We'll update our Bayesian theorem.
If Plup wins, but only barely, I think that would make me more correct than you.
No.
Okay, no more talking about this stupid set.
It's gonna happen.
It's
winners
only
finals.
Guarantee, right? I'm just saying. You know, me and Abby get along pretty well.
Dude, I take it back. aMSa's gonna lose to Axe. and then the set won't even happen. And then Kay will be like, well, if you beat Axe, he definitely would have beat Plup. So I'm still right.
You know,
Actually, I predicted Axe to beat him, so I can't.
Usually agree on a lot of things. You know, I think Fox is the most honest character, and I think we have the same anime opinions.
Planet Season 1 is garbage. Shout out to Pika. I know you're watching.
You gotta throw shit. Well, anyway, but I'm just saying, I don't want this to be a rift in our friendship or anything. I'm just saying, 51 to 49%. It's not a tinfoil. I don't think anyone's hacking into my brain right now.
Dude, you're not gonna play Sheik. He's
Fox
he's
mains
convinced.
can have fun.
Alright, this is what I think.
Oh my
This is what I think. You ready for this?
It's over. It's over.
It's just 51-49. All I'm saying is that it's 51-49.
The YouTube comments were all
Just
something.
a little bit favored. Just a little bit. Just a little bit favored.
We'll see who the YouTube comments
Okay,
side
we're
with.
gonna okay, no more talking about Plup versus aMSa. Okay, 3-1, K is the outlier. We're split on MutiKing versus. Actually, no, Save is the outlier and MutiKing versus.
MutiKing over Armada every time, baby. Hbox
Yeah.
versus Wizzrobe. How do we feel about that?
Hbox. Easy.
Yeah, I think that's definitely Hbox's hardest possible round one, but I still think it's really heavily favored towards
Hbox
Hbox.
is that good, dude. Like,
And Leffen Mango, I'm not even commenting on who's going to win. I'm just excited to see that set again. They always put on a fantastic show. Genesis 4 Leffen Mango is probably one of my favorite sets of all time. They're going to put on a show, but I'm not sure who's going to win.
Well, you're talking about Mango Leffen right now?
Yeah.
Hello?
Hello?
I think you're muted or something.
Me or Save?
Save. I saw him talking.
I mean, the stream could hear me. I was just saying that Mango Leffen, no matter who's going to win or who's favored in that, it's going to be an amazing set.
Okay, so I have something to say about Mango Leffen. Like, people cite the Genesis 4 set all the time when they're talking about like great sets ever, and that's one of my favorite sets. But Mango Leffen sets are like, they're usually kind of blowouts in one person's direction because that's kind of the nature of Box versus Falco. So I could easily see this being a 3-0 in either one's direction. I'd probably lean Leffen if I had to pick, but
Kay has something to say. Pretty sure.
Oh no, Kay, what's up?
What? Sorry.
Oh, you're creeping. I thought you were like gonna say something.
No, no. What? I zoned out. What were we talking about?
Leffen Mango.
I was saying it's really lopsided in one person's direction. Like most of their sets are kind of blowouts in one person's direction.
Really? Wasn't the Genesis Mango set pretty like really close?
No, but I'm saying like people remember Genesis 4 Mango Leffen because that's like one of the best sets ever. But if you take a look at their set history, a lot of them are just blowouts.
Yeah, wasn't the Genesis 5 set really lopsided, if I remember correctly?
The Big Cat set was also really lopsided. It's just like a big meme between the two of them that like only one of them is ever playing good at the same time. So I guess it really just depends.
That's like MutiKing Leffen. No, MutiKing Leffens, they're both playing terrible.
Yeah, usually.
Yeah.
I'm
gonna go with Leffen pretty solidly on this.
I think I'd take Leffen
I'd
as well.
agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who would have thought that that's the easier one to call than Plup aMSa or Armada MewTwoKing?
Yeah, so
What?
we
It
all
is.
agree Hbox,
No,
we all agree Hbox and Leffen.
Like the difference is that Plup. I mean, aMSa destroyed Plup the last time they played, and then Leffen has like the super head-to-head against Mango.
No, I'm not disagreeing with. I'm just the wildness that is.
No, you're getting gasoline and then just tossing the whole thing and then.
Okay, I'm right there with you. I'm just the 51 instead of the 49.
Oh. I'm not,
okay, sorry.
It's like,
we're done.
This is worse than the Marth Fox's 60-40. Like, is 51-49 going to be the new 6-4? It's like, oh yeah, you know.
Westballz has got worse, baby.
I'm just upset that I can't believe you just wasted really good tinfoil like that just to prove how much of a moron I am.
Also, I want to change my prediction from MewTwoKing Armada. Just because I fully expect Armada to beat MewTwoKing, I'm going to pick MewTwoKing against all. So I'll be on Save side for that.
Let's go. Oh, get ready to be wrong.
All right, Abby, let's agree on one thing. Like
statistical reasoning.
All right. We're separating this podcast from like the above me and below me.
No, it's like the expanding brain meme. Like I'm the lowest level, and at the bottom you have Ambi with his tinfoil hat.
So just to recap for each of us, our winners finals. So for K, winners finals would be aMSa versus winners.
Shut the fuck.
For K, would be aMSa versus Armada. For me,
have we not considered? We have not once did we ever consider aMSa versus Armada. Like what the fuck?
Oh yeah, aMSa
I think
Armada.
No. You cannot hold that against me.
If Armada goes Fox, I think he loses to aMSa.
Why would he go Fox?
He won't go Fox. But I'm just saying.
Ridiculous. Of course he's not gonna go Fox.
All right.
But yeah, I think it's gonna be Plup Hbox.
I think it's gonna be MewTwoKing Hbox.
You are insane.
Dude, I'm saying it because
if he beats Armada, he's not gonna be aMSa.
He's gonna beat Armada.
Oh, we converted him. We got him.
Let it be known.
No. Because if MewTwoKing beats Armada, then I have to be wrong on everything. So then aMSa is favored 51-49, of course.
Yeah, obviously.
And will win because odds.
That's how math works, right?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, let it be known that MewTwoKing will beat Armada in winners quarter. He will beat Plup in winner semis. He will then beat Hbox in winners finals. And want to know what's gonna happen?
He will lose to Tuesday in grand finals.
He's gonna lose like both sets. He's gonna play Leffen in like grand
goes on the
finals.
fattest losers.
Tuesday wins Summit.
Tuesday goes on the fattest losers run, but he has the unfortunate chance of meeting Ginger in loser semis.
God, I can't beat this guy. How do you even get here?
I'm just mad because just going back to Plup aMSa, I just realized that like Ambi did the ultimate option select to me. Like even if I'm right about this and aMSa wins, like Ambi just literally just straight up said like I'm still not backing down. I'm still more on good. So he just did like the ultimate. There's no way out of this for me.
The only way out is if aMSa wins, which he's going to. So you're fine, Kay. Kay, you're good.
I will be willing to admit. I will be willing to admit that you were right about this if he destroys Plup and destroys MarioLutherKing both in the same match. Like 3-0, 3-0. 3-0, 3-0, I admit. He was favored. He was favored. You're right. He's so good versus Sheik. He knows the most about that matchup of anyone in the world.
Do you disagree with me on that?
No. Why did I disagree with you on that?
No. But I'm saying that aMSa's not going to destroy Plup. I didn't say that.
I know.
Oh,
you would be right if he did, because then he would be favored. That's all I'm saying.
I think we've dwelled upon this for far too long. As enjoyable as it's been.
We are going to be continuing this discussion for the days coming.
No.
Can we make a separate channel in Discord just for aMSa Plup talk?
Dude, Axe is gonna beat aMSa anyways, and then this discussion is gonna be completely pointless.
So do we have any other discussions on Summit, or do you think we'd be good to wrap this up before we cross 2 hours again?
I think we're good. You guys want to do some brief this or that's?
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure.
What you got, Ambi?
Alright, more ridiculous. UCF calls us phantoms.
I was about to say that.
Genesis compromises the seeding so that Mango and Armada play winners finals. I think both of these are pretty good ones for this shit.
I take it back. You really maximized the
it's a prop, dude.
But Ambi, why is it a hypothetical if UCF does cause phantom hits?
Why is it hypothetical that the seeding is rigged for MarioLutherKing and Armada to play winners finals every single Genesis? All 6 of them.
You mean Mango?
Yeah, dude.
I think the seeding one is more ridiculous. The UCF one has kind of like a superstitious element to it, whereas the seeding one is just blatantly wrong.
No, but it's not a matter of superstition or not, because superstition implies that even though people feel it's right and people are more likely to feel it's right, it's still bullshit.
See, this is what I'm saying. This is really good this or that.
I think
well, see, the thing is, like, reality is just kind of like a matter of perception, you know?
Shut the fuck up, Edwin! Edwin! Stop! No!
Like maybe UCF like indirectly.
All right, hold on. I'm creating an existential.
Like this is a yes or no versus like what is reality and what causation versus correlation.
I think you've caught the stupid Edwin.
I think there's like a disease going around that's spreading specifically through Marth mains.
I was just about to say that.
Dude, like, you caught the no, I'm not saying I agree with Moon. Obviously, Moon is wrong, but you're saying I have to pick between UCF causing phantom hits and seeding being rigged for Mango Armada. Like, the second one is like a yes or no question. It's blatantly wrong. The first one is also blatantly wrong, but there's like wiggle room.
No, but but if there's any, if there was like an option, like the choice between these two options, and I had a gun to my head, I would grab the person's hand and pull the trigger.
Okay, but I'm answering Andy's question. Wait, Andy, so when you say this or that, do you mean which one is more likely or more ridiculous?
Ridiculous. Which one is way funnier?
Oh, way funnier.
Oh,
Oh,
way
the
funnier.
UCF one.
Well, it also is ridiculous. So you could there's wiggle room to the interpretation of this question. It's a this or that. It's a patent to this or that.
Oh, UCF. If that was true, that would be so
that'd be
funny.
hilarious.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah,
like, could you imagine a future where there was actually like one value that ended up like being through a chain of like code, just like ended up like changing by like one thing, and then Moon is suddenly like the messiah of like, see, I told you, and then like nobody would ever. He could make the most ridiculous claims, and everyone would believe him. Like. That would be the death of Melee.
That is the true. Yeah, that's the
I'm
darkest
still gonna say
timeline.
the seeding one is more ridiculous because that's just blatantly wrong. Like the first one's wrong too, but like people will just argue about it endlessly. Like you actually can't argue that seeding was done out of quote unquote tradition versus like just making sense. Like that's just straight up incorrect.
Okay, here's a better hypothetical then. Okay, UCF causing phantoms, Cedars rigging the bracket so that MutiKing plays ICs.
One's actually true.
We did that.
Yeah,
though.
one's actually true. Yeah.
You always want MutiKing to lose against
Just think
Ice.
about all the ICs players that MutiKing has played since like June 2017.
Yeah, Battle of BC too.
Yeah, he played Shootout at Battle BC 2, and that's one ice climber. Like what the fuck?
He played Load Spiller at Shine 2017.
Ooh, yeah. That's true. Do you have any?
Andy, do you have any other
Yeah, I was
stupid
about to
this
say.
or that's? Well, you're...
I have one more. So, which of these worlds is more preferable? Nintendo gives us the blessing to use UCF at nationals, or Nintendo sponsors nationals but tells us we can't use UCF.
Wait, what do you mean by sponsor?
Like a big esport sponsor.
I'd rather have
dev
Nintendo.
support.
I'd rather have Nintendo money than UCF because it doesn't affect me at all. I don't give a shit. It would be 100% better for me. It'd be
honest, dude.
1,000 times better for me if Nintendo sponsors it. Like fuck
I
everyone
actually
else.
Yeah. I actually think I'd pick UCF.
See,
I'm like the complete opposite perspective.
Yeah.
Here's the interesting perspective. Here's the interesting thing about this question. Like, this question is really obvious what the right answer is, but only for certain people. So there will be people who like reply to this who will be like, it's obviously this, and whoever thinks the other one is actually insane.
Yeah,
I think it'll be really interesting to see who is who.
I will gladly sit on my Scrooge McDuck vault of gold coins with my Nintendo paycheck. I don't give a fuck if you can't get your turnarounds. It's fine with me.
Damn, that's cold, dude.
Well, here's the thing. I feel like I'm coming from a biased position here because while I like UCF and that it makes shield dropping free, I also play Samus where backdash is kind of a trivial thing for me. So,
I think I would pick UCF probably just because I'm happy with Melee where it's at right now, and I'm sure there'd be some stupid drawback to Nintendo sponsoring tournaments, like they would force us to use a different rule set or some shit like that, you know.
No. I would pick Nintendo sponsors money because UCF causes phantoms, and we obviously can't have that.
All right. Sorry. Thank you, Kay. We can also trust Nintendo with seeding more because they won't seed for tradition or to purposely hurt MutiKing.
What if Nintendo knew that UCF caused phantoms and that's the big reason why they're against it? It's not because it's a mod to the game. They're just like, this isn't how Melee should be played.
Sakurai just sees the lines of code and just like, oh my god.
No one else knows this.
How do they not see this? We have to ban it for the future of Melee.
But he can't admit that he likes competitive Melee, so he can't directly tell us that that's true. He's gotta, oh no, Nintendo doesn't like mods, but he knows. He knows.
I came up with another this or that. You guys are interested.
Sure.
Okay,
Go ahead.
shoot me. Shoot it.
The seeding for every national is done by Reddit. Ready? The seeding for every national is done by Elo. So, like Elo, Glicko2, I don't give a fuck. Or Reddit.
I think
What do we
Reddit,
want?
Reddit would do a
Give
better
me
job.
Glicko, dude. I want to see Stango like getting
No.
carried far.
Yeah, I want to see
Winners
Stango
quarters.
Mango for
Let's
winner
go.
semis.
I want to see Stango and the Hanky Panky make it far, dude.
This is
Yeah,
the
it's like-
only.
Nothing makes top 8 winners beating like Stango.
This is the only time where I think Reddit would do a good job.
Low-key, Reddit would do a better job than like NorCal. So I mean, like,
Ooh.
I don't know, dude.
no, I
Remember
100%
that guy on
believe
Reddit
it.
going on about like AbsentPage being like top 8 in the world or something?
Yeah,
Oh,
but
yeah,
here's the
that guy-
thing. Here's the
God.
thing.
Yeah,
I've seen some people's like opinions on like the oh, this is what's the Neon rank's gonna be or shit like that. And honestly, a lot of them have been a lot more reasonable than any of the shit that has come out of Europe.
Ooh. Are we going to Europe again? I made it through a full episode not saying anything about Europe.
No, this is nothing against European players. They can keep their PAL. Like PAL is whatever. I mean, your game is more balanced, whatever. But like the European TOs, whoever was representing your fucking region for the Neon, they fucked up.
Ooh, give him the.
Well, see, I don't even have to worry about this because I touched upon this in my Neon post. So I'm gonna call Europe, whoever was on the panel, in full blast. Like, I think your choices for Neon were crazy, and I think Reddit would do a better job.
Wow.
Dude, Europe is gonna hate this podcast.
Dude,
They're not gonna watch this long. They were gone after the
I
first
don't know,
podcast
dude.
where Ambi called all of Europe dumb.
I didn't call them dumb. That was Aaron.
I never called him.
Yeah, you're going on about how the reason that European tournaments are so small is because everyone in Europe is so bad.
Oh yeah, no, I
Yeah,
did
you
call
did,
him
you did
that.
say
You're
that.
right.
Koopa Troopa, Europe or Tri-State? Who's got the crazier ranking opinions? Europe, because Tri-State is balanced out by the many melee stats people who are from Tri-State.
Yes,
Yeah, that's
So
very
we got
fair.
them on lock.
So there's actually a really interesting question from Koopa Troopa, because I think that like you have to think about it in two ways. I think the panelists from Tri-State were actually not that bad.
Yeah.
Including like the ones that were not affiliated with us. I think most of them were pretty good. But I think like
and
yeah, like that crowd.
The one SoCal voter I know.
there was one voter who had a very bad bracket. I know.
But what I'm getting at though is that I think that like Tri-State, like the community Tri-State is nuts with their opinion of themselves, right? So like,
Because it's
if
so
you mean like,
self-inflated.
do you think Tri-State players or European players have crazier opinions? I think it might actually be Tri-State, but like we really lucked out with the people that got selected for SSBM rank from Tri-State, or like they're actually level-headed.
I think we're all really blessed that HT was picked from the South.
Wow.
Dude, there was the one SoCal voter who put himself very high.
Let's not
Yeah.
get into
What? Should I mention Canada or should I just stop it now?
I think that it's.
You've already burned the bridge. I mean, like, what's another one?
There's too many. I don't like disclosing this information, dude.
No, I'm not disclosing it. Well, okay, maybe I'm.
If you want to know who had really ridiculous votes, go look at my violin plots and take a guess. You can probably figure it out.
No, this is the premium content we need for the website. We need like a separate half-hour roast podcast.
We had to end this podcast with like shit talking someone, right? Like we were pretty like just shit talking each other, right? So, or rather, just
I don't know if we were
shit
talking each other.
me, but like
you and Kay just went on about Plup versus aMSa.
51-49.
I am fuming about that.
51-49.
Like Ambi attacked my livelihood. He attacked my appearance. He got the tinfoil hat.
You know what the funny
He went
thing
through
is?
all the stops to prove how much of a moron I am, and he didn't even let me entertain the possibility of even possibly being right if it happens.
Yeah, you know what the best thing is? aMSa beat Plup in her last set. Like, it's not unreasonable.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Ambi, you realize if you're wrong on this, you're never going to hear the end of this.
Crazy. Like,
yeah, it's like not out that.
Ambi's like talking like as if it just like had a syringe full of drugs and just shot it up my arm and came on his podcast. Like, no, I don't think this opinion is that hot.
Yeah, I think me thinking that MikeHaze will beat Armada is crazier than aMSa beating Plup.
Thank you.
And the reason, and I acknowledge that because the thing is, all signs point toward Armada beating.
I completely agree with you, Edwin. Yeah, I'm there with you. So before we kill each other, I think this is a good point to end off the Melee Stats podcast episode 5.
No, I love you guys.
Wait, no, don't end it yet. We have to give our prediction. We have to give a prediction win.
Okay.
Hbox.
Okay, now we can wrap up the podcast.
Good episode, guys.
Yeah, Hbox. Yeah, we all say Hbox.
Before we go down this rabbit hole again, thank you for staying along for the 5th episode of the Melee Stats podcast. It's going to be interesting to see who wins at Summit. Be sure to tweet at the person who is completely wrong after the sets actually happened. Don't hate.
Sure, I'll get more followers. But
with that being said, I've been SaveAsUntitled. This has been Edwin, Kay, and Ambi, and we will see you guys next time on the Melee Stats podcast. Hopefully, we live to see that.